This is QTV News. I'm Momodu Gajaga. Thanks for joining us. Our top stories. Gambia strengthened ties with more countries. Barrow received Congo, Vietnam and Cape Verde ambassadors. Yankuba Toure and Fatoumatta Diakhoumpa Cissé charged again. Former junta member and former speaker charged with conspiracy and interference with a TRRC witness. Former Interior Minister and current President of the Gambia Football Federation, Lamin Kaba Bajo, has admitted to negligence in the investigations into the alleged assassination of the then Finance Minister Koro Cissé. Those are our top stories, and now the news in detail. Gambia continues to receive diplomats from countries around the world. The latest to present their credentials to the Gambian leader on Tuesday were that of Republic of Congo, Vietnam and Cape Verde. Aliou Cissé was at the State House and he now reports.
Engagement between President Barrow and diplomats continued on Tuesday at the State House in Banjul. Based in Dakar, the Congolese ambassador Luc Jensen was the first to present his letter of credence to President Barrow. He praised what he calls a good and strong relationship between the Gambia and the Republic of Congo and promised to work with the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Gambia to make the relationship more visible. Among the possible areas the two countries could cooperate, he said, are culture, fisheries, technology, economic and education. Next to present his letters of credence was Ambassador Pham Kok of Vietnam. He will be based in the Algerian capital Algiers. Ambassador Pham said he was proud to have met President Barrow to present his credentials. He described the Gambia-Vietnam relation as a traditional one. The two countries, he told reporters, can cooperate in many areas.
Vietnam and the Gambia, our two countries, have a very good relations. A kind of traditional friendship relations between our two countries. As ambassador, ordinary and plenipotentiary of Vietnam to the Gambia, I will try my best to consolidate and to reinforce the relations between our two countries, especially cooperation in fields that our two countries have advantages, like maritime economy, tourism, and agriculture, and as the President mentioned today, other fields like education, health. Also, we have a big potentialities to develop cooperation between our two countries.
The last to meet President Barrow was the ambassador of Cape Verde, Felina Rosa de Carvalho, who is based in Dakar, Senegal. He is quite optimistic that the two countries can cooperate in the areas of tourism and mining sectors. More diplomats are expected to meet President Barrow on Wednesday. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
A few days after they were discharged by the Kanifing Magistrates Court, Yankuba Toure and Fatoumatta Diakhoumpa Cissé have again been charged, this time at the High Court in Banjul on similar offences. Aliou Cissé again.
Former junta member Yankuba Toure and former Speaker of the National Assembly Fatoumatta Diakhoumpa Cissé Tuesday appeared before Justice Aminata Saho Cissé of Banjul High Court. The two are charged with conspiracy and interference with the TRRC witness Alhaji Kani, contrary to the laws governing TRRC proceedings. The Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission is currently investigating alleged human rights violations where the first defendant Yankuba Toure has been mentioned by a number of witnesses. Under the TRRC, a person found interfering with a witness could face a 1-year jail term or a fine of $1 million. Standing in the dock, Yankuba Toure and FJC pleaded not guilty to the charges. The pair were earlier discharged on similar charges by Magistrate Aissatou Janenjai at the Kanifing Magistrate Court. This followed the withdrawal of the case by State Counsel A.N. Yusuf on unknown reasons. They were arrested by the police and subsequently released on bail. Lawyer L.S. Kamara appeared for the second defendant Fatoumatta Diakhoumpa Cissé and lawyer Abdoulaye Sissoko for the first defendant Yankuba Toure. The counsels for the defendants said the charges levied on the accused persons before the High Court are entitled to bail and urged the court to grant the bail application. At the Kanifing Magistrate Court, the duo were granted bail on the same charges with a sum of $1 million or a landed property worth the amount. Appearing for the state, A.N. Yusuf said if the court was to grant the bail, it should attach conditions that will ensure the accused persons appear in court when due. In her ruling, Justice Aminata Saho Sise said the charges were available, thereby granting the duo a bail in the sum of $1 million or a landed property of that amount, with 2 Gambian sorties. She also ruled that the duo be allowed to move freely within the country. The matter was then adjourned to the 8th and 9th May for the prosecution to open its case. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Sise.
Former Interior Minister Lamin Kaba Bajo Tuesday told commissioners of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission that he was negligent by not doing enough to thoroughly investigate the assassination of former Finance Minister Usman Koro Sise. He made this admission while testifying at the ongoing TRRC public hearings. QTV's Ansumana Esonyasi reports.
Former AFPRC member Lamin Kaba Bajo Tuesday appeared before commissioners of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission. His testimony was in relation to the 1994 military takeover, the November 11 incident in which more than a dozen members of the Gambia Armed Forces accused of plotting to overthrow the junta were rounded up and allegedly summarily executed, his appointment as Minister of Interior and AFPRC Council member in 1995, the assassination of former Finance Minister Usman Koro Sise, and the investigations that followed. Testifying on the July 22, 1994 coup, the witness, who was State Guards commander, denied allegations that he was part of the coup plotters, but admitted that while on the ship with former President Jawara, his second-in-command Lantombang Tamba gave up the State House on his instructions. Furthermore, the witness claimed former President Jawara's allegation that he was not briefed about soldiers being disarmed at the airport on 21 July 1994 is incorrect, adducing he was told by then head of intelligence Keba Sise that the president was aware of the incident at the airport. On his relationship with former President Jammeh, the witness told the commission they were more than friends, describing him as a visionary leader.
Did you give any instructions?
Yeah, I told him to make sure he did everything possible to go and negotiate with them, talk to them, so that they can to avoid any bloodbath, because you know what you have and what they have. So try to do everything possible to avoid a bloodbath. That's my instruction I gave to him.
You asked him to fold.
Sorry?
You asked him to fold.
Maybe not.
Maybe yes.
Maybe yes.
You asked him to fold.
Yeah.
And fold he did. He gave up State House, didn't he?
Yes.
On your instructions?
Yes.
On the alleged assassination of former Finance Minister Usman Koro Sise, the witness told the commission he was part of former President Jammeh's delegation to Ethiopia when they received news of Koro's demise. Further testifying, he said Jammeh informed them that he received information from Banjul that Koro died in a car crash.
Evidence coming out that time.
I wouldn't confirm at the time.
That is why Jammeh assured the family that this would be investigated.
Okay.
Wasn't that the case?
No, it's an investigation that would have proven whether it was killed or whatever.
If he died under normal circumstances, there would not have been an investigation. There would not be a need for investigations.
Yeah, but that wouldn't assume at that time that it was confirmed that he was killed or murdered.
What I said was he died under mysterious circumstances.
Yes.
And that is the reason why Yahya Jammeh deemed it necessary to assure the family, those are your words, to assure the family that this would be investigated.
Yes.
And here you are, as Minister of Interior, you were negligent in discharging your responsibilities. Those are your words, not
yes.
mine.
Yes.
You accept responsibility that you were negligent.
Yes.
Asked about the 46 PPP militants arrested in 1995 and accused of staging a protest without permit, the witness said he has no idea who arrested them, but adduced he made several attempts to secure their release. Meanwhile, he is expected to reappear at a later date to testify on other issues. Ansumana Esonyasi for QTV News.
The People's Democratic Organization for Independence and Socialism, PDOIS, has excluded itself from the latest Coalition 2016 talks, which began on Saturday at the Caribou Beach Hotel. In a press release on Monday, the party said since 2017, the president has exercised executive authority without the oversight of the coalition. For more on this release, here is Babakar C.
The composition of the president's cabinet has been determined without any reference to a coalition agreement. Furthermore, National Assembly and Council elections have taken place in 2017 and 2018, respectively, without any consideration of a coalition agreement, it said in a statement. PDOIS A key partner of the coalition said that by 2018, parties had held their congresses and taken major decisions regarding the shaping of the political dispensation of the country without any reference to a coalition agreement. In this regard, the Bureau of the Central Committee of the PDOIS considers it prudent to call on the convener to exclude PDOIS from the current conversation on matters relating to the coalition 2016. It went on to say that the media is hereby informed that PDOIS is not part of the conversation and its leadership had already requested the convener not to include it in the conversation.
A dump site in Kotusilo is becoming a health hazard, according to residents. As the rainy season approaches, residents are bracing up themselves for mosquito infestations, flooding and stench from the site. Ajibintu Drame has more on this story.
Waste management is a serious issue in the Gambia. The Jida Darussalam dump site in Kotu, which is close to houses, is one typical example. It is a playground for children and a passage for people to move across other areas, and as such could cause a health risk to the community. The residents are desperate in need of help from the government. Ami Sanyang and Astu Jamme, residents of Kotu Silo, expressed their dissatisfaction about people dumping waste at the area. Ami says they have faced a lot of challenges, sometimes leading to fights. This
dump site is a huge challenge for us. People come here to dispose the refuse that sometimes leads to fights. Sometimes people burn the dump site during the day, which affects us.
As to say, things get worse if the dump site is burnt during the day, polluting the air, resulting in everyone having to stay indoors.
When we launder our clothes, everything ends up smelling of smoke. We have to be indoors because of the smoke. We plead to the government to address the issue.
Ami adds that things get worse during the rainy season, when the area is flooded with litter entering their houses. They plead to the government to help solve the issue. Bakari Sanyang, a resident, says the dump site has affected them. It has reached an extent where people need to relocate from the area to find a better place to live, he says. He continues, saying that people with health problems are vulnerable if the dump site is burnt during the day. He said during the rain season, there are lots of mosquitoes causing malaria in the area. Bakari also pleads with the government to reform the dump site into useful facilities.
The
dump site has been here for long. It upsets residents close to the site. When it rains, everywhere is flooded with litter from the dump site. It also becomes a mosquito-infested place, causing malaria. I urge the government to reform the dump site into schools, hospitals, and the market, because the community doesn't have any facility of the sort.
There should be proper waste management strategies put in place to avoid environmental and health hazards. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
Before we end this edition of the news, a recap of our main news stories. Gambia continues to receive diplomats from countries around the world. The latest to present their credentials to the Gambian leader on Tuesday were that of Republic of Congo, Vietnam and Cape Verde. A few days after they were charged by the Kanifing Magistrates Court, Yankuba Toure and Fatmata Jahumpa Cisse have again been charged, this time at the High Court in Banjul on similar offences. Former Interior Minister Lamin Kaba Bajo Tuesday told commissioners of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission that he was negligent by not doing enough to thoroughly investigate the assassination of former Finance Minister Usman Koro Cisse. He made this admission while testifying at the ongoing TRRC public hearings. That's it for this edition of the news. Join us tomorrow for more news. Thank you very much for watching.